right, hello everybody. Welcome to Solving Quadratics by Graphing and Factoring Day 2. So this is also known as 9.3 Day 2. All right, so let's do a little refresher. To solve a quadratic means to find the location of the x-intercept on the graph, which really means find the values of x where the function equals 0. And we learned two ways to solve. The two ways to solve are look at the graph and look at the graph where the graph crosses the x-axis, and those are the solutions. So we did that yesterday. And another way to solve is by factoring. So factor the quadratic and make each factor equal to 0 and solve. So let's just do a quick review of these two methods to find solutions. All right, so number one, find the solutions. Remember, zeros is another word for solutions. Find the solutions of this graph. So in other words, it means where does the graph cross the x-axis? And I know it's really, really tiny, but it looks like it happens at two spots. So what are those two x values? It looks like 1 and 2. So the solutions are at x equals 1 and x equals 2. Even better, if you want to write them as ordered pairs, it's 1, 0 and 2, 0. Right? Because that's what zeros are. They're x-intercepts. The y value is always 0. All right, number 3. Now let's try one by factoring. So I hope you guys remember, what do we always have to do first? When you're factoring, it must equal 0. So we're going to need to subtract the 12x to the other side first, because we need it to equal 0. And don't add these, they're not like terms. Just leave them in descending order. 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 12x. All right, guys, we're ready to factor. So GCF always first. Is there any common factor that we can divide every single term by? And it looks like they all have a factor of 2, and they all have an x. So we're going to divide everything by 2x. So go ahead and draw your big parenthesis and do the thing where you divide everything by 2x. So this one, we're left with 1x squared. Here we're left with 1x, and here we're left with minus 6. Right? We just divided everything by 2x. And then if you look, the remaining parenthesis is a trinomial, and we know how to factor trinomials by guess and check method. So to get x squared, we need x and x. And now we need two numbers that multiply to negative 6, but the inners and the outers add to positive 1. So what are two numbers that multiply to negative 6, but add to positive 1? And that's positive 3 and negative 2. Don't forget to drop down the GCF. And now we have to solve. And solving is just setting each factor equal to 0. So when 2x equals 0, you would divide by 2, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. When x plus 3 equals 0, we would subtract 3, so you would get negative 3. And when x minus 2 equals 0, you would add 2 to solve, so x would be positive 2. Again, the shortcut is just opposite, opposite, and this one is just always 0. Okay, great. So now there's one more way to solve, and that's by using the graphing calculator. So let's do, this is the same problem as number 3. But why don't we do it, and we'll see that we get the same answer. We're just going to do it a different way. So solve using your calculator, you still have to equal it to 0. So we still got to subtract the 12x over first. All right, so let's see what we have left. 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 12x equals 0. All right, so take out your calculator. And now that we have it equal to 0, we're going to type this into y equals. So go ahead and type this in. So 2x caret 3, and then hit the right arrow to get out of the exponent, and then plus 2x squared, and then subtract 12x. And when you're ready, hit graph. And if you don't like how your graph looks, you can change the window to negative 10, 10, 1, negative 10, 10, 1. Negative 10, 10, 1, negative 10, 10, 1. Okay, I would probably change it, but we'll leave it. All right, how many times does the graph cross the x-axis? Do you guys see them? It happens once here, and another time here. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 different answers. 3 answers here. Okay, so last chapter we did this. Second trace, option 2, right? We're finding the zeros. So hit enter. All right, let's find the furthest left one first. So find your blinker, get it a little bit to the left of the 0. So left, it might disappear. That's okay. So as long as you see it and then you hit left, you're okay. So hit enter once. And now get it a little bit to the right and hit enter twice. Did I type this? Oh my gosh. You guys, I typed it in wrong. I'm missing a plus sign. Shoot. Okay, I need to insert a plus sign. Sorry, 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 12x. I hope you guys did that right. I messed up. So go ahead and fix that. That should be a plus sign. Okay, now let's hit graph. Okay, this one looks a little nicer. All right, back to the 0. So go ahead and hit second trace, option 2, and let's get our blinker just a little bit to the left of this 0. Okay, so that's to the left. Hit enter once. And now get it a little bit to the right and hit enter twice. So our first 0 is at negative 3. And now we got to do it again for the middle one. So now second trace, option 2, right? All right, now we got to get our blinker a little bit to the left of this one. So that's a little left. Hit enter once. And then a little bit to the right. And hit enter twice. So that one's at 0. And then we got to do it one more time because there's one more over here. So second trace, option 2, hit enter. All right, let's get our blinker a little to the left of this 0. That looks good. Hit enter. And then a little to the right and hit enter twice. And that one's at 2. X equals 2. So if you guys notice, this was the same problem as the one we did before. And notice that we got negative 3, 0, and 2. We also got those here. Negative 3, 0, and 2. So it's just another method to do it. All right, we will practice more of these tomorrow. Thanks for watching.